So welcome back, friends. I'm here once again to prove that what Granddad said was true. If it's got something in tires, can't remember the first, eventually it's going to give you problems. Well, we've got that today. We've got a problem that's common to all men, a stripped out bolt. The thing that went wrong here is we've got a broken grease zerk. Now, this has happened a couple times to me. And I think what it is from the tire chains. I don't know if they pick up rocks or pick up different things and fling across here and they take the top of this off. Now, this isn't a real bad one, but I'm going to demonstrate a really cool tool you probably haven't seen before in this. And then we're going to go over and drill out a real stripped out nut. But the process is the same. So if you haven't seen these, well, Granddad always called them easy outs, and this is basically, well, they call them extractors. Now that sounds much more professional. Well, easy out was probably a brand name. That's probably how they got around that. And what you have here, what's unique about this is that we've got left-handed drill bits that turn in the opposite direction. Now, normal drill bit, of course, goes clockwise. These go counterclockwise. Well, why is that important? Well, when you're drilling, if you have a bolt like this or a zerk that gets stripped out, you don't have any way to get a wrench on it, right? So what this allows you to do is to drill a hole into the bolt left-handed, and the reason for that is that's the way that the thing wants to come out, right? So it's kind of counterproductive if you do have to drill a hole in this to use an extractor. As you're drilling, you're just further exacerbating the problem. You're tightening the bolt. That's why we have the left-handed ones, because it's helping you to go the direction you ultimately want to go, which is out. My experience with these has been that usually, in 5 out of 10 times or so, it's not usual, is it? The drill bit is enough by itself to back out the fitting. So if you get this, and it's a non-zerk, so where you start is clean the thing off right there. We already have a hole here, but take your center punch and make yourself a nice little hole to start with so that your drill bit is not going to wander, right? And before I do this, I got a little, going old school here, gasoline, and we want to keep these areas clean. So this is for a ball joint, and a ball joint is the joint between the steering rod and the knuckle. And that has a lot of movement. Every time you turn the wheel, every time the suspension flexes up and down, this thing's moving. So it's really important to keep them greased. So where we start is we'll just pick a corresponding drill bit. Nothing that's we don't need to go too big. If you have one that's really tight, of course, a bigger hole is going to be better because you can use a larger extractor, obviously. So if we put this in left, let's see what happens. Of course, when you're drilling, guys, metal like this, you drill it. You don't drill high speed. Don't pull the trigger and just go crazy with it. You want to drill slow with a good pressure. So this is kind of tricky because I think that ball bearing may be spinning in there. Let's see here. Oh, did you see it shift right there? So we saw that zerk move. It wants to come out on its own. So when I get to a situation like that, I'll go with a bigger drill bit, put a little bit more pressure on it. Backwards, thank you. And see right there, just the drill bit itself backed out that damaged zerk. And that's typically the case with those things. They really do work well. Now, of course, don't expect that they're all going to come out that easy. The ones that come out this easy will be in a place that's very well lit, easy to get to. That's the ones that won't give you any trouble. It's the one when you're standing on your head up underneath your car and you've got one chance of it. And if you don't get it right, you're going to have to pull the transmission, transfer case, and drive shafts. That's the one that will give you trouble. But that is, that is the way of life. Okay, there you can see this is the damaged one. Came out no problem. We'll install a brand new one. Man, happiness. I worry about equipment that doesn't get greased. I don't like it. It's such a waste. Sometimes you see, really beautiful pieces of equipment that are not taken care of, and it's hard to take sometimes, isn't it? I'll tell you an interesting fact. I'm not doing so well here that I've shared with you before in the past, is that, as you guys know, I ran heavy equipment and did excavating for a long time. Had my own equipment and company, and what we found. Well, that is really giving me trouble here. What we found was if you take a machine, an excavator, for example, and you put one guy on it, brand new machine, and he's a capable guy, you know, good operator and conscientious. That machine, well, 5,000, 6,000, 6,500 hours maybe you can expect to get on that machine that's used daily. It's going in a bit crooked, isn't it? So when I run into something like this, so that thread got a little bit bent. I could chase it with a tap, but I think it's so close that if I just kind of start this in the right direction, very lightly. Anyway, that very same machine, you cycle a bunch of guys through it, even competent operators, but a different guy in every machine, or different guy in the same machine. 3,000 hours, and it's pretty well. Yeah, I just hit my thumb there. Oh, let's do it again. Yeah, just twice for good measure. It's just starting off a little crooked there. Yeah, 3,000 hours. Man, that hurt. So what do you learn from that? Well, I think what it is one guy that's that's on the machine. He knows it. He understands it, and he can feel or hear when there's a problem, maybe a vibration or a squeak that he's not used to. But let's say a problem develops and he's got a squeak going on, a bearing going out, and he shuts the machine off, and the next guy comes in and jumps in there. He doesn't know, so he runs it. So those things happen, and there's also the pride of ownership that goes along with it. But I like to see things repaired and done properly whenever you can. Let's grease that, see if it holds. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, quick update on yesterday's grease gun video. I said I put that little black tip on there. I had two of them. I had the lock and lube, and I didn't put it on because of the size. Well, I greased a couple pieces of equipment yesterday, and I don't like that thing. It was unhandy to use, and just a kind of an overall general pain. This one is better, so I put this one back on, and that's the way I'm going to keep it. It really goes on there nice and locks on there. All right, let's see. Make sure we're getting grease going in. Now, a lot of you guys are going to have cars or trucks, older ones that still have ball joints like this, and you want to grease those yourself. What you're looking for when you go under there, when you're looking for that grease zerk, it's going to have a rubber boot on it. You see that rubber right there? Now, those over time will get dry and they'll split, and you'll know because when you look under there, or if you pump grease into it, it will come out the hole. You want to repair those. If that you just get you can get a new cup or you can get a new ball joint. Repair those because that's going to let dirt and stuff in there. It'll really cut down on the life of it. Okay, just when I told everyone how good the lock and lube was, and I got grease all over the place, I thought that was supposed to. Oh, it's not tight, is it? I thought I tightened that up. It's almost stripped out. I've had that problem with that repair before. See if we can get a little grease in there. We can tell if it's going in there because we're going to see that boot expand. You don't want to pump up that boot so much that the grease comes out above or below it, that you've overfilled it, but just enough so you see it bulge a little bit, and that's what you want, and that'll keep pressure. Yeah, you can see it. Here's another common one that's going to give you trouble: the Allen head. The Allen head, designed to strip out and to give men grief, is a common one you're going to run into. You can see here, I got to repair this tripod deal, and of course that thing is stripped out, and there's nothing you can do to get that out of there. Of course, there's the proper one. So we can do the same thing right here. We don't have to center punch because we already have kind of a hole for that drill bit to go into. But again, that's pretty tight with a left-handed drill bit. Let's see how far we get. I switched bits there. That one wasn't very sharp. It needs sharpening. That one's sharp. Once you get your hole drilled down there a little ways, you can take your extractor that basically is left-handed as well, and I'll give it a gentle tap right there. It does a couple things. It seats the extractor as well as any shock that you can give to that bolt is going to help free it up. And then the better tool to use is like a die handle. But as we turn to the left, you can see right there that's gripping, and the harder you turn it, the deeper this extractor is going to burrow down into that hole that you drilled and help to bite onto that and to get that thing off of there. They're very, very effective. Be careful, these are hard. Don't tweak on them, don't bend on them, that sort of thing, because if the extractor breaks off inside of the hole or the drill bit breaks off inside of the hole, well, you got a whole nother set of problems there that you don't want to deal with. So for most cases, the extractor is going to take that right out of there, and no problem. You can kind of see how that lined up there and just bit in nicely. So that's how you get your bolts out. This little kit is pretty common. Don't buy the snap-on one. I bought the snap-on one foolishly one time, and then I found out they were made by someone else, and I found my local hardware store carried the exact same thing for like half the price. So I'll show you the kit that I recommend. Because here are the two extractor kits side by side, the snap-on and the Irwin's branding this one. So I mean, I can't verify 100% that they're exactly the same, but I think we're on safe ground to assume that we got the same tool right here. But this is the extractor kit you want. As long as I guess if it looks anything like this, it's probably the same one, and they're very good quality. This is actually the third one that I've bought because I have broke a lot of them. I used to do a lot of that sort of thing. So that's I'll put that in the Amazon link there if you want to get one. But that's what you want to have in a toolbox, is a good extractor kit like that, and those left-handed bits. You will be glad you did. So what did we learn? Well, to recap, you want to have an extractor kit. That's a pretty essential tool. And also if you have equipment, next time you go to Napa or wherever, order yourself a little box of those grease zerks. Zerk with a K, they'll come in little variety packs, and you can get the ones with the angles and the 90s. So I'll just get a few, and that'll save you a lot of trouble, because sometimes you forget to put those things in your equipment, and every time you go to grease it, you're like, oh yeah, I was going to do that, and then life goes on, and then pretty soon you're 6 months and you've got a pin that's all worn out. So speaking of worn out, well, not worn out, but damaged. I beat up my pipe beyond repair. I hope I didn't break the head. See, what I found out is that carbon fiber pipe guards are a stupid idea on dirt bike, because rather than the pipe taking up the abuse and getting a ding in it, it forces the whole thing back up, and you run the risk of breaking the cylinder head. So we're going to remedy, or I'm going to remedy do that. The dirt bike videos are not very popular, so I don't know that I'm going to share them. Speaking of unpopular videos, so I just made a major gun purchase. Actually, I bought two. I bought them on the East Coast, and they're coming in to my FFL at the end of the week. Of course, did I just say that word? We need to come up with code words for the things that we like to share and we enjoy, so that we don't get our channels shut down. So what I'm going to do is I invite you to go over there to BitChute. I'll put a link down in the description, and subscribe. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers over there. It's a brand new platform. I'm kind of in on the ground floor. I'm a little envious of Styx Hexenhammer, because he has like 33,000 subscribers on this BitChute. I think he's the biggest one over there. I thought, let's see if we can't come in second, right? That would be cool. But it dawned on me when I was working on this tractor, I can upload anything I want to over there. And I've been so constrained, and it's like, I guess it's the analogy, it's kind of like the boiling a frog analogy, you know, that you throw a frog in hot water, he'll jump out. But if you slowly increase the temperature incrementally, pretty soon he's boiling and he didn't even realize it. He was in well, as Pink Floyd said it, comfortably numb. Is that a good way to put it? You can become comfortably numb or complacent when you lose freedoms and rights so progressively. My mouth is just frozen out here. It's 9 degrees. Anyway, I can upload that stuff over there. So go over there and subscribe, and I promise that I will, when these two purchases come in, which you're going to be very interested in, I can share that and my philosophy of that, you know, because we are going to have a presidential election coming up, and sometimes I wonder what's going to happen in this country if it goes a particular way that some folks won't be happy with. It may be, you know, it could be a flashpoint. So you want to be sure you're squared away, and you know, I'm not encouraging violence to anyone, but I'm just saying, just have your family protected and have a plan, and take the steps necessary to keep you and yours safe. So that's all I'm saying about that. But we can talk more about that over on BitChute, which I think we will. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to get to work on the bike, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Boss baby, are you giving mama trouble?
kind of fussy right now, and we're not quite sure why. She had a long nap.
What's the matter? Do you need Papa to come sit with you for a while?
She probably would like that. She's eaten. She's had a nap.
Feel how cold my hand is.
Brrr!
Feel. Oh.
That was cold, huh?
That was a stink eye there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pray for you.
Thank you.